Welcome to the 2025 CCAA Men's Volleyball National Championship, hosted for the very first time by the Manitoba College Athletic Conference here at Providence University College in beautiful Niverville, Manitoba. For those not familiar with these prairie parts, Niverville is situated 30 minutes south of Winnipeg and just a few miles off the longitudinal center of Canada. It is the fastest growing community in Manitoba, which is not surprising when you see this beautiful, beautiful facility that we're in today. It's a community resource and recreation center, recently built for the benefit of the community. This is the home gym for the Providence Pilots, and this is where all of the games are going to be played this week. We're clearly very, very pleased to be here. I feel very lucky to be in this facility, and this is going to be our home for our next 4 days. I'm your courtside announcer, Harlan Enns, and I'm thrilled to bring you all of the action live from this historic event. This whole week, we'll be watching some of the very best college men's volleyball teams in Canada, literally from coast to coast, represented by some of the most outstanding players in collegiate volleyball. Of the 14 All-Canadian honorees, 8 of them are here this week, competing fiercely to bring home the national championship for their school and province. None of the teams who medaled at last year's championships at Camosun College in Victoria actually have returned to the championship this season, so we are guaranteed to have a new champion this year come Saturday evening. Springtime is just around the corner here in Manitoba, and though you might not be able to feel the warmth yet, if you come to the gym, you'll feel the heat of the competition, and it will certainly make up for the coldness outside. I've come all the way from Victoria, British Columbia. I'm a BC guy, local to Steinbach originally, and pleased to be back. But I've come from Victoria, where spring truly has sprung, and I'm just thrilled to be here, to be with you. If you can't be here in person, and I encourage anybody in these parts of Manitoba should make every effort to get here this weekend. This is a wonderful facility, and it's going to be amazing competition. In fact, we've already had a great first match, and I'll speak to that in a few moments. But I encourage you to come out and support these great athletes in this great facility. But if you can't, join us on the live stream. There's a link on the tournament website, and you can join us for all of the action here courtside, and I will keep you updated with all the insights and updates that you need. I want to take a moment here to acknowledge the corporate sponsors, or sort of the national sponsors, that make this volleyball tournament possible. And so first off, I want to acknowledge Sports Canada. They are the major funding partner of the CCAA. I also want to acknowledge and thank One Team Sports Group. They are the official retailers of the CCAA. Moulton is the official volleyball of the CCAA, and Jostens is the official supplier of the award rings to the CCAA. Thor Imprint is the presenting sponsor of the Players of the Match, which adds excitement and gives some special recognition to those who perform so very, very well against the very best in the country. Huddle is another sponsor, and they are a computer software video analysis that help our players and our coaches improve their performance both individually and as a team. And finally, Veriburn Medical Supply is the official medical supply provider of the CCAA. I'm going to be joined shortly by my color commentator and bilingual host, Selva Planicic. She's going to join me after she does the player introductions. She's going to be doing the French portion of the player introductions. We do have a French team with us today. She was with me for the first match as well, as the team from Quebec played first off. And let me tell you how that match went. We had a tremendous upset, what many would consider an upset in the first match. The hometown, and I say that in air quotes, CMU Blazers, who were the second team to make it into this tourney as the second seed, I guess, in Manitoba. Providence got here by virtue of their host, but they also won the Manitoba Championship. So CMU Blazers from Winnipeg were here, and not much was expected, quite frankly, from CMU Blazers, but they really came out, played as a team. They relied on some of their vets, and they don't have a lot of vets. They are a young team, but Duncan Petrie in particular came out and played very well, and they took down the giants of Quebec, the Outaouais Griffins from Quebec, who came in very, very strong and expected to do very well at this tournament. And so unfortunately for them, their gold medals hopes are dashed, but they will have that opportunity to move into the bronze medal through the back door tomorrow when they play whatever the loser is of this next match. They will have the chance to then play for a bronze medal, or the opportunity to play for a bronze medal. And what happens is, in this tournament, the losers of the first day matches, if they win the bronze medal, they will have to play 4 matches, which is different than the winning team, for instance, is only going to end up playing 3 matches. So it is a bit of a grind to get in that back door, but Outaouais certainly has the horses to do that, and I think they'll be wanting to rebound. And so they had Player of the Year on their team, the men's Player of the Year, Felix Perron, who had a tremendous match. But as a team, they didn't bring it quite enough. And so this hometown, and I say hometown in air quotes, did win that match. And so we had a great first round with a lot of, first match of the day with a lot of drama. We hope the same will be here. And so this next match is a match between the champion from British Columbia, which is a tremendously strong conference, has historically been. That is the Pac West. The Douglas College Royals won the Pac West just a couple of weeks ago, and they are playing the winner of the Atlantic Conference, so the Université Sainte Anne Dragons. So the Douglas College Royals against the Dragons from Université Sainte Anne. The Douglas Royals did have a very successful season. They won the Pac West, as I said. They started the season rather slowly, going in the first half of the season before Christmas, 3-7. So they didn't have the start that they clearly wanted. They have a new coach, Jeff Ross, and so he took on responsibilities for both the men and the women's team. But gradually they grew and they get to know each other as a team, both the coach and the players. And since Christmas, they have been 8-2, clearly carried the momentum into the Pac West tournament, where they defeated the mighty College of the Rockies Avalanche, who had actually spent 10 consecutive weeks at the beginning of the season, #1 ranked in the country. And so they beat the Colorado Rockies, the College of the Rockies Avalanche in 4 sets in the championship match. They enter the tournament as the 6th ranked team based on regular season final rankings, but clearly they have the momentum coming in from winning the Pac West final. Key players on their team are 6'5", third-year right side player number 11, Marvin Tumusime, who was named Pac West Tournament MVP of the final provincial championship, and their setter is a stalwart of strength and certainly is an experienced player, 5th-year setter Elijah Kim, number 15. He's their setter and captain, and both of those will play crucial roles in if they were to be successful here this weekend. The Royals actually are one of 3 teams at this year's championship who have medaled in the past. They've done that exactly 2 times. So we don't have a lot of we have a lot of new teams at the tournament this year, and a lot of teams that don't have the experience of winning. And Douglas is one of those teams that has had success at nationals in the past. So really the keys, if I can go through a few for the Douglas College Royals, if they're going to be successful today, they will need to have that consistent performance. They certainly have momentum coming into this tournament, as I said earlier, but they need to maintain that consistent play. They have strong leadership, and they need to lean into that. They have some Elijah Kim certainly is a leader in that category, and as I said, Marvin Tumusime is also a leader, and they will need to use their experience to calm the team if they need to through those high-pressure moments. They also need to have defensive purpose. They have effective blocking, and they do need to dig really doggedly to neutralize the offensive threats that the Dragons are going to represent. The University of St. Anne Dragons, they earned their berth by winning the ACAA, Athletic Conference Athletic Association. They are led by their All-Canadian number 10, Liam Pelche, who is a second-year 6'4" right side hitter. And they also have the ACAA Coach of the Year, Gilles Arsenault, coaching them. They entered the tournament a little bit lower ranked than most of the other teams, and so not much is expected from this team from some parts, but they believe that they're going to surprise many of the Western teams with their strong offensive game. They do need to play aggressively on the offensive side to do well. They do have some very strong hitters. They use quick attacks in the middle very effectively. They have an experienced core such as Douglas as well, so they need to maintain that composure. And lastly, they need to put Douglas College on their heels with their strong serve. Douglas can stumble in the service reception area, and so certainly they need to create scoring opportunities by putting them in trouble. At this point, I'm going to pause. We are going to have a territory acknowledgement here shortly, as well as the introduction of the teams and the referees, but I will be back very shortly to talk about all the action that is coming up.
This game will be played between Point Douglas from Pac West and the St. Anne Dragons from the ACAA. Sorry, correction, Douglas Royals. Now, if you are able, our third game tonight will be at 6 p.m. featuring the Providence University College from the NCAC and Red Deer Polytechnic from the ACAC. Now, if you're able, please stand with me. We respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered today on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation and the ancestral and unceded lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, and Dakota peoples, on territory that has been their home since the immemorial. As we pause together to acknowledge the First Peoples and caretakers of these lands, we are reminded that no matter how big or small, each of us has a part to play in creating a more just and equitable society for every person living in this territory.
Welcome back. We've just had the national anthem sung together with the territory acknowledgement. Teams are about to be announced starting lineup. I'm going to start with the referees who are going to be officiating this match. We have lines people, and there are 4 lines people, each manning 1 line. Stino Siragusa is 1 line, Randy Hall, Chris Chong, and Brett Harder. The second referee today is going to be Robert Lee, and the head referee, R1, standing on the stand, is going to be Everett Dion. All of our referees, first and second referees, come from around the country, representing the provinces that are here at the championships. Now I will go through the starting lineups. First from the Douglas Royals, we have number 2, Luke Hance, who's a first-year outside hitter from Richmond, British Columbia. We also have number 8, Nathan Howden-Duke, who's a first-year middle blocker, 6'5" middle blocker from North Vancouver. Number 10, Lucas Sansoni, is their other middle. He's a 4th-year player, 6'7" from Argentina. Number 14, Tyler Tran, is going to be the libero. He's a 2nd-year, 5'10" player from Richmond, BC. Elijah Kim, as I said earlier, is their setter and captain. Number 15, he's 5th year out of Richmond. Nicholas Robles is going to be the other outside hitter. He's a 2nd-year player out of Vancouver, number 17. And Marvin Tumasine, number 11, is a opposite side, right side hitter, 3rd year, 6'5" player out of Uganda. And they are led by head coach Jeff Ross, as I said. Université St. Anne Dragons. Their starters are going to be Jeremy Bork, number 5. He's a fifth-year middle blocker out of Nova Scotia. Number 6, Ethan O'Coin is their setter. He is a first-year player. Vincent Doucette is number 7. He is a third-year libero player from Dieppe, New Brunswick. Oh, sorry, Ethan O'Coin is from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Jeremy Bork, to be exact, is from Tuscott, Nova Scotia. We also have starting number 9, Brady Spinney. He's a fourth-year left side player, 6'3" out of Wedgeport, Nova Scotia. Number 10, they're all Canadian, Liam Pelche. Number 2, he's hitting right side, 6'4" out of St. Anne de Kent in New Brunswick. Number 12 is Louis Philippe Leblanc. Now I will call him LP Leblanc for the rest of the match. Number 4, left side, 6-foot player from Dieppe, New Brunswick. And finally, their 7th starter is number 13, Oliver Rutherford, a third-year player, middle blocker, 6'6" out of Bedford, Nova Scotia. You'll see there's a lot of Nova Scotia and a lot of players and New Brunswick players. As I understand it, University St. Anne is very close to Nova Scotia, almost on the border of New Brunswick. So we welcome the listeners from University of St. Anne, and we wish both of these teams well. They have now had their introductions here in the gymnasium. The first serve is about to begin, and the first serve, I believe, goes to Douglas College. And I'm going to have Selva joining me here shortly to give some of the French commentary. I will be speaking in English, but welcome to all of our listeners from across Canada. And we are anticipating a great second match, if it even comes close to being that first match, and the excitement and the intensity of that first match. We are bound for a very, very good match here. Welcome to Selva, who has joined us. She is joining us. We're very lucky to have her. She is a volleyball player in her own right. She just finished a 5th year at University of Winnipeg-Westman in U Sports. She was a very, very prolific left side hitter and spent her whole career at University of Winnipeg-Westman. Is going to be turning pro here shortly, and so we're very glad to have her join me in the booth. So welcome, Selva.
Thank you.
Oh, and I was wrong. Douglas is not serving first. It is the Dragons, and back to serve is number 6, Ethan O'Coin, their setter. Elijah sets it out to the outside. Luke Hans is their outside hitter and gets the early kill for the first side out of the match. Douglas is unique in the sense that they are very small on the outside. Both of their left side hitters are below 6 feet, but they jump very, very well, and they have excellent ball control. Certainly in system they do well. Where they begin to struggle a bit is out of system. Elijah back to serve. O'Coin goes to the middle, dug up by Kim. Set out to the right side to Marvin Tumusime. Pelche has the big swing, looking for a touch but does not get it. Point to Douglas as the contact goes out the back end. Kim back to serve. Jump spin serve by Kim. To the right side, beautifully set and nicely executed by LP LeBlanc. As I said, he is the left side player out of Dieppe. Again, also undersized at 6 foot, but jumps well and clearly has a good view of the court. Has kind of all the shots in his arsenal.
Belle attaque par Leblanc.
LeBlanc serves that one to the libero. Power tip down the line. Sorry, and that was, again, we can't see particularly well because of the referee R1 blocking us, but that was a tip out of bounds, so it went back to LeBlanc to serve for the Dragons. Tumusime tips for the kill for Douglas. Back to hands from Douglas to serve. Both these teams are obviously having to get their nerves kind of worked through and get into the intensity of the match. More and more people starting to come into the gymnasium as the day progresses. Hans hits it into the net off a jump spin serve. Serve back to the Dragons. Number 13, Rutherford. Again, jump float into the serve. My bad, says Rutherford, and goes off for the libero. Libero, as I said, is number 7 earlier, who is Vincent Doucette. He's from Dieppe, New Brunswick as well. Howden Duke, is back to serve. First-year middle blocker, had an exceptional season. He's a first-year player. Out of system, hits a ball in the middle of the court. Sansoni with the set in the middle. Elijah is very, very aggressive with his sets in the middle. He does not need the perfect set on the net to get his middles involved, and that was a good example of that there. Sansoni puts it to the ground. Howden Duke back to serve, his compatriot in the middle. Howden Duke serves the middle of the court. Pelche having to come way in for that one out of the right side. Gets his shoulder around that one and puts it to the ground. Pelche showing his skills as an attacker. All-Canadian, wonderful player.
Une attaque vraiment dynamique par Liam Pelletier.
And I should say LeBlanc was injured for part of this year, but he was an All-Canadian last year. So they have two very strong guys hitting on the outside. Set goes to Marvin off a perfect pass. Marvin puts it straight to the ground. Very impressive off the right side. Marvin is certainly a guy that Dragons are going to need to key on. A lot of sets go his way. He will get a lot of swings throughout the match, certainly when the setting is on. When they are in system, they are a very tough team to beat. When they go out of system, sometimes things begin to falter, so passing is very, very important. Nine with an aggressive attack. That's Brady Spinney, but he does hit it into the net for a point for the Douglas College Royals. Colt serve from Tumusimi. Pelche coming out of the back row. A lot of aggression on that one, letting it out, letting it all hang on the floor. Clearly a lot of enthusiasm, spurring on his teammates to have that high intensity as well.
Une autre grosse attaque par Liam Pelletier. On va voir comment Douglas répond à ça.
Spinney is back to serve. Hits it into the net. Very low toss for a jump spin, but hits it into the net.
Une erreur au service par Spinney.
Robles is back to serve, number 17 for Douglas College. He's one of the shorter, probably left sides in the country, but jumps incredibly well. Jumps out of the gym. You're going to enjoy him this weekend. Lots of spin, slightly off speed. Smart hit by number 12, LP LeBlanc. Finds court cross on the cross-court side. Perhaps that one went through the block because the defenders were not there. Typically, they don't want to defend in the shadow of the block. Marvin blocked out of the back row. Hands tips it across, but the Dragons blockers are a little aggressive, get called on a net call.
Une erreur au filet par les Dragons.
Sansoni back to serve, the 6'7" Argentinian, 4th year at Douglas. Nicely dug by Sansoni, the hit off Pelche. Robles flies out of the back row, but dug up by the Dragons. A little bit of sloppy ball handling here at the net. Very nice. Set to the outside, Elijah Kim kind of going against the flow. Hands, puts it nice cross court across his body. Line shot, scores a point for Douglas Royals. Sansoni has had some injury problems throughout his career, but this year he has stayed mostly healthy, and his numbers reflect that as well. Very, very effective in the middle for Douglas. LeBlanc, tip, off speed. Defenders were kind of back on their heels on that one. Next to serve is the setter, Adrian O'Coin. Not Adrian, that's a Canuck reference, Vancouver Canuck reference. Ethan O'Coin, their first-year setter. He's the second time he's going back to serve, number 6. Taken by the middle blocker in the middle. Miss hit there by Howden Duke in the middle. Took it well with his hands, gave Elijah a good pass in the right on the center, but flew it out the back. Royals leading 10-8 in this early stage. Wonderful execution by Marvin, and they are going to use that a lot today. So as I said, Dragons will have to be keying on Marvin on the right-hand side. Kim sets that C-ball very, very effectively. Often a little bit lower than many other teams and hard for that block to form. Elijah Kim back to serve. Spinney gives a pass, but not a particularly good one. Pelche rolls it over. Howden Duke cuts it across his body. Nice attack in the middle. Kim getting all the hitters involved early on. It's important to get everyone's game in a good place and get the juices flowing. And I think at this point, all the guys have pretty much a kill already. Kim back to serve, leading by 4. Switches it up from his spin serve to a float serve and puts it into the net. Sends it back to St. Anne, so it's LeBlanc back to serve. Again, a lot of these New Brunswick players and Nova Scotia players have changed their hair color to clearly peroxide. Orange hair. Nice hit by Luke Hands down the line on the right side. Not very easy to defend a hit like that. Clearly on the outside of the block. They were wanting him to hit line, but the defenders weren't there. So Hands back to serve. Nice serve by Hands. Back to hit by Rutherford in the middle, cuts it across his body, off the defender's hands. Couldn't control it, bounces out for a point for the Dragons. Rutherford is back to serve. And if I'm looking correctly, I think every guy on this team has changed his hair color. There's some solidarity on this St. Anne teams. Rutherford hits it into the net. I think that's his second missed serve already. Coach isn't going to be happy with that, with a float serve that isn't the most aggressive. That was the theme in the last match as well. A lot of missed serves, too easy of points given to the other side, particularly when it's not an aggressive jump spin serve. Howden Duke back to serve for Douglas. Big swing by Pelche, but the blockers got a hand on it, but put it out. Pelche was rewarded with going back to the service line to serve. Sansoni cuts it across his body, but nice dig by Pelche. Little misplay at the net there by O'Coin, trying to dump it. Didn't judge quite how high he was and went it into the net. Marvin Tumusumi going back to serve for the Royals. Just puts it over the net, off the tape. Tough one. Called held ball and St. Anne Dragons side trying to get that ball up. Kind of a lucky point, but Douglas will certainly take it. Timeout called by Gilles Arsenault. First one taken by St. Anne. Score is 16-11. It's kind of what we expected, Selva. We expect BC to be pretty strong in this tournament. They have 2 seeds in this tournament, and for those that are wondering, the seeding of this tournament is not based at all on the team's performance, the actual team's performance throughout the year, or the national rankings that have been posted every week throughout the season. It is 100% based on the conference results over the last 3 years at the national tournament. So because BC has had some very strong performance at the nationals over the last 3 years, Camosun winning it 2 years in a row, they have a very good, so effectively they come in as the first seed. So Douglas, as by virtue of winning Pac West, got the first seed in this tournament. So, Atlantic typically has not performed as well at Nationals, and so they often are one of the lower seeds. And so effectively, this is the 1 seed versus the 8 seed this week. And so we expect Douglas to do well in this tournament and certainly in this match. But as we know, Liam Peltier and LeBlanc are both very strong attackers, and are going to try and neutralize that to some extent, and maybe take down another favorite of this tournament, make it 2 for 2 after that first round upset that we just had, or first match upset that we just had. So coming out of that timeout, clearly Gilles is trying to change the momentum of his team. He's shared with me yesterday at practice that he's very much into visualization and to kind of mental settling down the team, and so they do that as a part of practice pretty much every day. And so those are some of the things that I'm sure he's going to be sharing with them in the timeout. Marvin back to serve. Spinney takes it over bump. Easy kill for Sansoni in the middle. Not much the setter can do about it. Extending the lead to 6 points. Musume's serve floats out the back. Point goes to St. Anne. Well-needed point. Spinney goes back to serve for St. Anne. Robles blocked on the outside. Back to Robles for a second try. This time a roll shot to the middle of the court. Peltier picks it up. And third time is the charm. Robles putting it off the block to the back corner, number 1 position. Spinney could not quite get to it. I gotta say, I don't know if it's throwing you off, Salva, but all this same colored hair is kind of throwing me off.
It is for sure. They all look the same. Ils te ressemblent tous avec les cheveux.
Big serve by Robles. Picked up. Peltier out of the back row. Block kept in play. Out of system here, Luke. Hands, middle of the court. Just had to be tipped over by Dragons. Marvin off the block, out of the back row. I'm not sure what the call was there. Did you see, Salva, what the call was? I thought that had gone off the block, but maybe it went off the tape.
No, I think it was off the tape.
Off the tape. So Dragons get that one. It went off tape and out. Off the hands of Tumusumi. Number 5, Justin Bork, or Jeremy Bork, sorry, is back to serve. Strong, aggressive hit by Luke Hans. Really gets up there. 5'11", left side hitter, but strong cross court. Finds the line. Point for Douglas.
Luke Hans avec une attaque agressive.
Sansoni's back to serve. Typically serves with a jump serve. We'll see what he does here. I've seen him use both. Oh, he is going back. He's going to a spin. And he hits the corner. Right position 1. Very, very difficult to pick up. I guess that's the type of serve that if you can hit those spots, you're going to get those points. Dragons just really have to tip their hat to that kind of serve. So Sansoni gets the ace. 20-13. They hit 20. At this point, they're just looking to side out at least and win this match very tidily in the first set. Takes a bit off that serve, Sansoni does. Strong hit by LeBlanc. Hits Robles right in the chest. Couldn't pop that one up. Point to St. Anne. Setter back to set no point. Elijah just has to tip it to the backcourt. Peltier comes, big swing. Off the block, Howden Duke couldn't quite press enough. Off his hand, straight to the court. Point for St. Anne. Now trailing by 5. Certainly looking for a run here off one of these servers. O'Coin serving again. Unfortunately, he floats one out the back. Point to Douglas. All important 21st point. Elijah Kim, who really changes up his serves as well. Now we have another timeout from Gilles. Arsenault from the St. Anne side, using a second timeout. What kind of message do you think Coach Arsenault is going to be delivering to his guys?
They're obviously the undersized team compared to the Royals, so I think he's going to tell them to really play smart. Those smart shots off the block, rolls and tips, I think will help them score, because they obviously have a big block when they're hitting. And I think he not making a mistake on serve as well, because you can't really afford those points right now.
Yeah, well said. Those points are hard to earn, and to give them away on those easy full serves out the back, he clearly needs to impart that to his team. And outside of Pelche, I find that some of the guys have been fairly tentative on that side, not seeing the blocks as well as they probably should, using those hands. Pelche certainly has brought his game today, and I think we're going to see at the end of the first set some pretty impressive stats for Pelche, but I think they need to spread that out a little bit more, some secondary scoring. Certainly out of the middle. I don't think they're getting much out of the middle, so we'll see if they can run a quick middle with Rutherford out of the middle, but Elijah Kim back to serve, score 21-15. Changes it up with a float serve. Overcooked that one, Pelche did. Had a chance, almost straight down, but overcooked that one just out. So Kim is now 3 points away, looking for a big block from Marvin in the middle. And Howden Duke.
Une attaque juste à l'extérieur du terrain par Pelletier.
Kim again serves effectively with a jump spin. Sends it back to Marvin, who just kind of pushes it over. Again, Rutherford misfires on that one from O'Coin. Haven't been able to establish the middle yet, which sets up a strong two-man block on the outside. I really find Kim serving quite effective. He'll move from a jump serve to a spin, or a float serve to a spin serve within the service rotation. Keeps the other team guessing. LeBlanc does not have a chance to attack that one as he was outside the antenna off the broken play. Now we're at game point 24-15.
Une autre erreur à l'offensive pour les Dragons.
Kim does a spin serve that time. Quick set to the outside, misfire. I think he was probably going for the middle blocker. Did not connect clearly, and point goes and set goes to the Royals, 25-15. Probably one that certainly St. Anne wants to put behind them. They have not been executing well in the middle. What sort of strategy would you say that they need to, before we go to break here, but what sort of strategy do you think that St. Anne needs to follow in the second set to have a different result, Selvin?
Had a good start, just keeping it simple and just hitting high off the hands, but I think now they're trying to speed things up and speed the sets, and it's not really working very well for them at the moment. Yeah. And I think putting the other team out of system works better for them, because then if it's putting pressure on those bigger hitters,
yes,
and they can't really smash the ball as hard onto the floor if they're out of system. So I think just keeping the team out of system is going to help them out a lot.
Yeah,
which means making less errors there at the net.
They exactly have been out of system a lot of the time. It's hard to establish middle when you're out of the system, or virtually impossible. Elijah Kim is one of those setters from Douglas that does that reasonably well. Howden Duke has had an exceptional first year for the Douglas Royals. He came out of North Vancouver and has, I believe that he was all rookie team in the Pac West, which is no small feat when you think of the quality that's being played in BC. And so certainly adding to Sansoni in the middle has been a big piece of their success this season. Elijah Kim is a fifth year, so this is the first year that he's made the Nationals. So looking forward to speaking to Elijah Kim throughout the tournament kind of getting his perspective, what it means to him as a fifth-year player coming to the provincials or nationals for the first time. I did say earlier, too, that Jeff Ross, their head coach this season, on an interim basis, he made it clear to me it was an interim basis, but he has actually been coaching both the men and the women's team. He's those from BC would know that Jeff has built a very powerhouse factory of volleyball for women's volleyball on the Douglas Royals women's side, and have many spots in the nationals, whereas Douglas needed a coach when their coach Jamie last year left to be assistant coach at UBC men's program, and so Jeff agreed to step in on a kind of a double switch hitting basis, doing both. I had talked to him as well. Who was he going to coach if both had made the nationals? Douglas women didn't make the nationals this year, so that choice wasn't necessary for him to make, but he did make it clear that he would have been with the women. There's a strong backup crew of coaches working with him here for the Douglas Royals. Looking at the first match stats, do want to say that there was some strong hitting statistics from Liam Pelche. He had 4 kills, hitting at a 286 efficiency rate. LeBlanc, the other left side, hitting 300, also 4 kills. And on the Douglas side, Luke Hans had 5 kills, hitting at an incredible 571 percentage for 5 points. Didn't get any service aces. And Nicholas Robles only had the 1 kill, but I expect more out of him. Marvin had 3. Marvin Tumaseme had 3 kills, hitting at the 286 efficiency rate. And I think he had 1 ace as well, so for 4 points. We're moving to the second set. Both lineups seem to be the same. Elijah Kim is beginning the set as server, just like he ended the last set. LeBlanc banks that ball with authority back over, kind of on a broken play. Nice to get that first point for the Dragons. Unfortunately, that set from the center of coin goes into the net. Point back to Douglas, and Hansen going back to serve. Hands blows it out the back. Well left by the serve received from the Dragons. Back to serve for Dragons after earning that point is LeBlanc. Pass off that full serve. Going across the body was Howden Duke, but too sharp. Hits it out. I noticed, Salva, that LeBlanc needs the ball received in a certain way from the ball handler. Is that something that's pretty common in university volleyball too, where people want the ball at a certain time in a certain place?
Sorry, what was
as LeBlanc goes back to serve, he needs to accept the ball at a certain time, at a certain place from the 3-ball system.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players have their own routine, which you just stick to the whole year. And without that routine, like, it's hard to, like, serve well.
Yeah, no, and I can see that routine being very important. Clearly, that was important to LeBlanc. LeBlanc serve received goes off the antenna, obviously called out. Point to the Douglas Royals. Do you have any quirky routines on your serve, Salva?
I do. I bounce the ball 3 times on the
Always
ground.
3 times?
Yeah, and then I have to wipe the bottom of my shoes.
Okay, every time?
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it, would you feel out of sorts?
I would.
You would?
Sure. Yeah.
Howden Duke back to serve, float serve, taken by LeBlanc. Middle attack by Rutherford. Sansoni pops it up, almost a held ball, but Robles hit his dug up in the back row by LeBlanc. Marvin finally takes charge. Assuming that is, hits it hard into the block. Can't be handled by Spinney and falls to the ground. Early score early in the second set, 4-3 for the Royals. Howden Duke looking to extend that lead. Hits that one a bit too aggressively out the back. Giving the ball back to the Dragons from St. Anne. The middle blocker, Rutherford. Didn't serve particularly effectively in the first set, so we'll see if he can serve better here in the second. But again, another service error. Rutherford had 2 service errors in the first set. That's his third. Going to need better from him if they want to be successful. Those are easy points for the Douglas Royals, who are, I would suggest at this point, looking like the better team, but we'll see if Douglas can change it around. Ball goes out on the serve, back to Pelche and the Dragons. No. Pelche hard spin on the serve. Robles nice roll shot, but picked up by LeBlanc. Again, nice cover on the block by LeBlanc. Robles has to hit it out of system and rolls it out the back. Broken play. Didn't get quite the execution that they wanted. Robles has struggled so far. I see him shaking his head there, expecting better from himself. Peltier back to serve. Well, just rolls it over. Dug up though. Peltier out of the back row, rolls it back. Out of the back row, Tibusime hits it into the block, but squeezes it between the blocker and the net for a point. Robles goes back to serve for Douglas. Nice serve by Robles, but dug up nicely. Set goes further outside than Spinney was anticipating and rolls off his hands harmlessly to the floor. Point for Douglas. Now leading by just 1. Very tight second set, which is going to please Coach Arsenault on the St. Anne side. Hits it hard, but into the net. Loss of serve by Douglas. Back to Spinney for the Dragons, who's going to go back to serve. Nice serve by Spinney, not handled well by Robles on the serve receive. Shanks it off the side of the court.
As par Spinney.
Spinney has a bit of a hybrid serve, doesn't he? It's not a float, but it's not a full top spin either.
Those can be really hard to pass because you don't know what you're expecting.
How
you
it's
don't
going
know
to
if
come
it's
off
going
the
to be
hand.
a spinner or a floater.
Substitution now. Spinney comes out of the game. Number 2 goes into the game, so that's Lepage for the Dragons.
Une substitution pour les Dragons.
That substitution was brought to you by the Steinberg Credit Union. Guidance for where you want to go. Sansoni back to serve for the Royals. Back row attack by Pelche, but apparently he did touch the front court on that 3-meter line, so point given to the Royals.
C'était une très belle attaque, mais il a dépassé la ligne d'attaque.
Nice block by Howden Duke in the middle, stuff block solo. Sansoni is a pretty deliberate server, and I noticed the crowd next to us counting out the 1 through 8. If a server takes, the rule is if the server takes more than 8 seconds, they need to be, they loss of serve. Sansoni uses all of those 8 seconds. Howden Duke called on the net, trying to block LeBlanc on that one, so the point goes back to St. Anne. Number 5, Jeremy Bork, one of the two middles, back to serve. Float serve over. A little bit of speed that it had was taken off the serve and falls to the floor as it hits the tape. Lucky, but certainly Bork will take that one. He might claim it was by design, but I kind of doubt it. Floats that one out the back, far out the back. That kind of serve is one where the players don't even need to make a decision. It's so clearly up the back. I've often heard coaches say if you're going to miss, you miss it, within a couple of feet of the end line. At least the players have to make a decision on whether they're going to serve it. That one was not that. Kim is back to serve for the Dragons. For Douglas. Pelche flying out of the back row, but dug up by Kim. Hands hits it hard, but Rutherford gets the stop block in the middle. Starting to see a few more blocks in this set, which fires most teams up. Rutherford pretty excited about that one.
Un gros bloc du côté des Dragons.
As well he should be. Number 6, the setter of coin, back to serve for the Dragons, still knotted at 11. Tentative tip by hands, and it goes right into the hands of the blockers on the Dragon side. Shove it back, right to the floor. Something probably needs to be more aggressive. Either hard, that's a chance where you maybe tool it off the block, hard tip, swipe it out. Nice block put up by Dragons, but clearly they have the advantage of getting a little too close to the net. Called on a net call there, so point goes back to Douglas College. Luke hands back to serve. He likes to serve pretty aggressively, so we'll see where he can place this ball. Oh, he takes a little bit off, forces a little bit too much, it goes into the net. I shouldn't say those sorts of things, it probably jinxes the servers. If you're superstitious, that is. LeBlanc back to serve for the Dragons. Nice cut back across his body. Howden Duke puts a lot of power behind that one, right on the tee line. Point
Une grosse
Douglas.
attaque au milieu par les Royals qui reprennent le service.
Nice sharp cross court for Pelche, imploring his team to bring more energy as he's bringing it. I like the intensity I see from Pelche. Rutherford back to serve for the Dragons. Difficult set for Kim. Had to take it quite low, but Sansoni tees him up for a nice kill in the middle.
Beaucoup de succès au milieu par les Royals comparé aux Dragons.
Tumusime back to serve. He'll be looking for a C-ball set out of the right side. Nice quick set. Couldn't be handled by the libero Tran on the Douglas side. Point to the Dragons. Another kill by Pelche. Certainly racking up the kills in the first two sets. Wow. Finally, we see something from Robles. Beautiful kill, sharp cross court. Getting on top of that ball. Beautiful pass by hands on that one to start that beautiful set.
Une grosse attaque par Kim.
Robles goes back to serve. Rolls it over. Handled well. Pelche has to tip it over coming out of the back row, but a little off balance and hits it, tips it into the net. Douglas Royals up 16-15. We get to the second half of the match. Robles blows it out the back, didn't hit as tight of a topspin, didn't have that downward action as he was expecting, and service goes back. Number 2, Lepage, from the Dragons. Well, that almost looked like a junior high serve. That was a high rainbow serve out the back, one that you should never, ever miss. Pansoni back to serve for the Royals. Tried to take a little bit off that serve, took too much off his spin and right into the net. Again, back and forth game, tied at 17. Bork goes back to serve for the Dragons. Big block by LeBlanc and Rutherford. They'll get a block on that one. Timeout goes to the Royals. Jeff not wanting to let any run start. I want to take a few moments here while we're on a timeout to thank some of our sponsors. Obviously, the town of Niverville is a key sponsor for this. They're the title lead sponsor. Obviously, it's a lovely, lovely facility that we're in. Thank you to them for their amazing facility that they provided and the sponsorship that they're providing. Some of our associate sponsors this week are D&M Rentals. They're also known as Ashgrove Acres. They have provided the bleachers in the gymnasium. Tim Hortons and Steinbeck is a team meal sponsor. We appreciate that. Source for Sports and Steinbeck, certainly the official apparel provider for Providence College. Studio, Something Witty is another sponsor, and William Dix is a local business that we thank their support. Why don't I carry on to a few more sponsors, because we have a lot of them and we thank them for their involvement. Shea Coop is a design and print of event collateral, very involved in this tournament. A lot of what you see around here has been provided by Shea Coop. Rotessa is the gold standard in payment processing. And On Point, a large format printing of event collateral as well. So very much similar business as what Shea Coop is in. Keystone Appraisal sponsored the banquet last night. Wonderful banquet. The menu was great. The speaking was great. My co-host here was one of the MCs, Salva, together with Michelle Sawatsky. And we also want to thank Smitty's Niverville, team meal sponsor as well. Smitty's has great wings. Don't miss out this week. Back to serve as Bork. Nice set by Kim. As I said, he's pretty aggressive with those middle sets. Howden Duke ready to put the ball down. Nice kill by the Royals.
Douglas is finding a lot of success in the middle, I find.
They are definitely establishing those moves, which helps those smaller guys on the outside get one-on-one blocks, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hard serve by Elijah Kim, can't be handled by the libero. Puts that one to the ground, so point Douglas. Well-timed timeout by Jeff Ross, it looked like. They come back with 2 straight points of their own. I guess he gets lots of practice coaching both men and women, so he knows what he's doing. Just as I say that, Kim blows a serve into the net. Back squared away at 19. Serve back to O'Coin from the Dragons. Certainly the Dragons are hanging in there in a way that they couldn't in the first set. They've used the middle a little bit better this set, not as effectively as the Dragons, or as the Douglas Royals. And we get a net call on who was that net call on? Rutherford, sorry, the middle blocker on Dragons. And so Hans goes back to serve for the Royals. Now reach that all-important 20 points. Once you hit 20, you just put it into overdrive, knowing you only need 5 more points. Effective side outs to get you that victory in that set. Howden Duke's a little bit aggressive on that one. Gets called for penetration into the opponent's court, not giving the Dragons setter a chance to set that ball. So point goes to the Dragons. LeBlanc back to serve. Didn't look good from the start. The pass pulled Kim out to the 3-meter line and didn't give a particularly good set out to Robles, and Robles put it out. So it all starts with the serve receive, doesn't it, Selva?
Yes, it does, for sure.
LeBlanc serve just rolls over the tape. There's a broken play that turned out very well. Robles puts it hard to the ground for a nice kill. Again, 21-21. Not much to choose from in this set. Howden Duke back to serve. Contacts it very high in his float serve, but last time he did put it out in the back. We'll see if he can serve aggressively by keeping it within the lines of the court. Well handled by LeBlanc. Peltier. Interesting call that the referee made there. Held ball on Marvin. I've certainly seen a lot of worse. Would you have say the same? Or was that a call that you think needs to be made?
That was definitely clean. It wasn't that much of a carry, I don't think.
Yeah, it surprised me. I don't often see that call made. Marvin obviously agrees with me, but the referee's in charge. Tentative tip by Robles. Probably needs to do more with that. Put it to the deep court. At that point, just let's play on and get to the next. Get to the next rotation. Recycle it if you will too, I guess. St. Anne takes the lead by 2 at 23. And when they need a point, they go to Marvin Tumusune. He gets an effective kill from the right side. Had to come in for that set. It wasn't pushed all the way to the outside by Kim. We have another substitution. Marvin's coming out from the serve. Substitution server coming in. Let's see who it is. It's going to be number 1, which is Joshua Singh. It's backup center, and they're doing a double substitution on this one. So Elijah coming out for number 9, Jacob Antosik. That substitution was brought to you by the Steinbeck Credit Union. Guidance for where you want to go. Let's see what Joshua Singh can do here with the serve. Hits it hard. He's from Australia, of all places. Great block. Robles and Sansoni team up on that block. Hit it back to the middle of the court. No coverage on that one. Again, effective. Oh, we got a timeout called here. Predictably, 23-23. Timeout called by the Dragons by our Coach Arsenault. Interesting time of the match. They call a double substitution, which is pretty common in the game today. Is that a rotation or do you know on certain rotations that at your team at the Winnipeg Westman that it's used quite often?
Yeah, towards the end of the sets, I think sometimes coaches want to just change it up and put in a new server.
Get a bigger block at the net, I guess, as well. When you take the setter in the front out, put the setter in the back row, you get a bigger block as well.
An extra hitter as well. Give the offense more options to put the ball away.
Yeah, and so clearly they like what they see in Joshua Singh, his first court time, and like I say, the backup setter, first year. It looks like he's going to have opportunities to set more next year when Kim grads out. But coming in at a very crucial time to serve, 23-23. Whistled in for a serve now, again from Singh. Just out. Hit it hard, but just out. Well left by the Dragons. Now we have set point, 24-23. Peltier back to serve for the Dragons.
This is what I call a coach's point.
Exactly, right? Well done on the timeout. Tough set to make for Singh. Came out of the back row, couldn't keep it on his side. Point goes to the Dragons. We are all knotted up at 1 after 2 sets. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back to you momentarily with some post-set analysis. You were. Welcome back. We're 2 minutes left until the third set is about to begin. We're all knotted at one. I do want to take a little bit of time here is to welcome some, sorry, not to welcome, but to thank some of our other sponsors. We have Ween's Furniture, who is the furniture providing the furniture in the VIP area. We thank Ween's Furniture for that. Northern Mat and Bridge is also a donor here this week. We thank you for their sponsorship. May Contain Studios is the official photographer of the event. Thank you to your contribution. Volleyball Manitoba clearly wants to have this be a success, and so thank you for Volleyball Manitoba. Your grocery people, they have been providing this week. They will be providing the refreshments and the food and the hospitality in the VIP area, as well as the coaches' room. Oak Leaf as well. Thank you to Oak Leaf and Maple Leaf. A lot of Leafs around here, but thank you to those companies. Agribution as well. It was a contributor to this tournament. And now let's talk about some of the pizza. We have a great number of great pizza places in Niverville. We have Country Snacks, Pepsi's Pizza. We have the Pizza Hut in Niverville. I've always been a big fan of pizza. Do you have a favorite pizza flavor at Pizza Hut?
No, I don't.
You don't. I like the Canadian at Pizza Hut. Domino's, they always deliver, of course. Santa Lucia and Pizza here in Niverville are some of our pizza sponsors. And then lastly, we have Eastman Therapy Center. Dave Blatz and his group from Eastman, thank you. They're providing all of the athletic therapy for this event, keeping our athletes safe, doing a lot of taping and the like. And Pita Pit, they are just very near the gym here. They are one of our team meal sponsors. So thank you to those sponsors. Again, anything that you can draw out from the stats after two sets, Salva?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the errors, they're tied up at 10 errors each team, which, I mean, it usually comes down to how many errors you make in the set, and then we could see number of kills is almost double for Douglas.
Interesting that with even the double kills, they're still 1-1.
Yeah.
What Luke Hans didn't get a kill that set, Marvin stepped it up and already has 9 now. But yeah, it's interesting that you would look at these stats, you'd think this is a 2-0 match, but it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, back to serve. Very similar starting lineups. In fact, let me look. It looks to be all of the same guys that ended the last set. And O'Coin is back to serve for the Dragons. And the point goes to Douglas off that serve. So Elijah Kim going back to serve. Back to live action here. Elijah Kim gets the point on that serve. Royals up 2-0. Obviously a crucial set when it's the best out of 5 going up 2-1. It's pretty important. Ensures at least you go to game 5. Elijah Kim hitting that serve softly into the net. Pretty easy point for the St. Anne Royals. LeBlanc going back to serve for the Royals. Sorry, for the Dragons. Howden Duke hit out of the middle, but dug up nicely. Pelche high off the hands. And that's what you were talking about earlier, Salva. Hitting off the hands, often very, very difficult to pick
Against
those up in the back row.
Teams, that's a crucial thing.
Pelche is seeing him play for the first time. Very fearless, but a smart hitter.
Peltier, un attaquant vraiment agressif.
Bang, bang action here off the digs. Marvin with the sneaky roll shot just over the block. I want to see what Pelche is hitting here in terms of percentage. His percentage did go down last set. He's down to 143. So he's making more errors than he did in the first set, but he's certainly not backing down from these big game challenges. Hands back to serve for Royals. And we see Lepage hitting it off the block. We see both linesmen calling it off the block.
A touch there.
Yeah, I could hear it from here as well. And we got headphones on. Referee calling the linesman over to confirm what he saw. And in fact, it is being called a touch. We all knew that was the case. Dragons are serving. Rutherford back to serve. Their middle blocker.
Tout à Ford au service.
Rutherford unfortunately making another service error. Rutherford did have some good blocks in that second set. He had two block assists, which is great. Serving has been lacking though. Four service errors now at this point in the match. And his counterpart, middle blocker on the other side, Howden Duke, back to serve for the Royals. Popped up by Lepage. Pelche pounded into the hands of Kim, straight up into the rafters. Again, not backing down and hitting hard when he needs to and high off the hands at other times.
Une autre attaque puissante par Pelletier.
Overpass. Put down by Bork, but dug up. Kind of awkwardly hit off the hands. That's going to be a hitting error for Pelche. Point back to the Royals. Salva, I thought these first two matches might go three straight, but that has not transpired at all. We're getting...
Dragons are responding well to the pressure of playing a top team.
They certainly are. Fans are getting their money's worth today. It's going to be called 4 hits here, yes. Low set to Bork. Low set to Bork. He just really couldn't do anything with it. Hit it up into the block, but no chance for his team to get it back over. So it goes back to the Royals, and Tumusime is going to be serving. C-ball set to Pelche, but he blows it out the back. For a point to the Royals.
Trop puissant cette fois-ci.
Royals take an early 3-point lead, 7-4 in this important third set. Rolls it off the tape. Tricky one for the libero. LeBlanc hits it into the net. Doesn't get it over successfully, giving a point to the Royals. We have a timeout called by Coach Arsenault on the Dragon side, clearly wanting to change the fortunes of his team, maybe get a message across to them. The Royals certainly have responded this set to the loss after the last set. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a few moments. We're back live. Looking over at the stats after the second set, we see that the most efficient hitter has been Marvin, both in efficiency, but also in volume. He's got 9 kills through 2 sets, hitting at 400 clip, and has in service ace as well. So 10 points contributed to his team's efforts. Rest of the hitters have been hitting fairly low percentage. We've been seeing a lot of hitting errors, which you might expect in big games like this when they are not maybe used to the pressure of these games, but certainly Pelche has been hitting hard and at times hitting smart, but probably too many errors from what Arsenault would want from his big gun. We're back to action, whistled in the serve. Tumusime is about to serve. Very, very tight. Reflex dig by the libero, Doucette. Again, aggressive set to the middle. Sansoni serve receive is slightly off the net, but Kim is pretty aggressive at setting the middle and sets him well.
Une attaque impressionnante au milieu.
No mistake about that one. Wow, you can just see the passion in Pelche. I think he's doing that as much for himself as he is for his team, just imploring them to, and imploring himself, keep bringing it. Great set by Aucoin in that situation. One-on-one on the outside. Equally the other side, our right, Douglas right side hitter. Nice cross-court hit by LeBlanc. Scores the point. Service back to the Dragons. Lepage back to serve. Tricky little dump there by Elijah Kim. Wasn't the best pass by Tran. Kind of shot at him, but he made something of it. Ball boys are getting a little bit of encouragement from the referee to get the balls to the servers more quickly than they have been at times. Very nice serve by Robles. Took a little bit off. Very tough position too. Not a place you'd expect to serve to fall too many times, certainly off a topspin serve like that. Robles back to serve for a second time. Tough serve. All the setter could do is push it deep. It does go out of bounds though, not off the hands of any of the blockers. Douglas scores another point. Referee noticing Pelche, sorry, not Pelche. LeBlanc needs to tie his shoes, giving him time to do that. Wow, wow. Aggressive serving in a very off-speed kind of way. Wow, two within the 3 meter line. Off top spin serves, Robles gets another ace. We have a substitution brought to you by Stuyvesant Credit Union. Spinney comes back in for Lepage. Guidance for where you want to go. Stuyvesant Credit Union, thank you. We'll see where Robles puts this one. Maybe puts in position 3 for an ace. Bork hits it over, but dug up. LeBlanc goes high off the block, but it's dug up. This time he uses the block to put it out. Smart play. When he sees the block isn't totally formed, quick set, put it right in the hands, and they didn't have time to push it back into the court. Bork goes back to serve for the Dragons. Hands just rolls it over. Smart play by Pelche. Took a little bit off that one. Robles, I think, expecting a little bit more heat on that one. It dropped right in front of him. Probably one he wants back. But Pelche effective out of the back row. I would estimate that at least half of his kills have come out of the position number 1. Hard hit by Marvin. Dug up by Pelche, but they couldn't keep it in the court. Point for Tumusame and his teammates from the Douglas College Royals. Score now 14-8, stretching that lead a little bit more every few points, stretching from 4 to 5 to now 6. Sansoni back to serve. You can see that one right off the toss. That was not going to have a good result. Soon enough, Sansoni put it into the net. Point to the Dragons. Setter Aucoin going back to serve. The held ball called on Rutherford on that one. Unexpected block. Put it right down into Rutherford's hands. Coin coming out of the back row in this rotation. 3 hitters. This is one where he has both LeBlanc and Pelche in the front row. goes to Rutherford. Service, I mean, it's not a service error, a hitting error. And Arsenault calls his second timeout. Not liking what he's seeing. What do you think is the difference in this game? They played very well last game. And what are you seeing as the difference in this game for the Dragons?
I think they're making some mistakes at the wrong times, giving Douglas a bit of a lead. But yeah, I mean, they're still really aggressive and using the block and tooling the block, so I think they should keep doing that for sure.
Yeah, they seem to be their serve receive seems to be failing them a little bit as well. A lot of the passes are kind of ending up at the attack line, which ends up, you know, you get 2 or even 3 blockers on the outside when that happens, right? So what's the secret, Salva, when you got a triple block on the other side? What's the trick to getting a kill, let alone getting or do you just try for a recycle at that point?
No, you just try to aim at the top of the fingers.
Top of the hands, okay.
And get it to fly out there.
So it either looks like a brilliant tool off the top of the hands, or it looks like a phaser 10 bricks up in the back wall. Okay. As I said earlier, Salva is a very accomplished volleyball player in her own right. She played for 5 years at University of Winnipeg-Westman and just finished up her career last weekend. Unfortunately, University of Winnipeg-Westman lost in the quarterfinals, but a great career. Well done, Salva. Kim back to serve for the Royals. Good play by Hands, as we just were saying. He went high off the hands. Tough for the back row players to pick it up. They did have a chance, but they couldn't handle that ball that came off the blocker's fingers. Kim digs it up. That means he can't set the second one. Marvin on the broken play. LeBlanc's been very effective, as he did on that one, as hitting into the block, not a well-formed block, and out the back end, whereas I think LeBlanc has been,
he's been using the block to his advantage for sure.
Very much so. He's got a lot of blocks blocked out.
Oui, LeBlanc vraiment utilise le bloc à son avantage.
Big block right to the back line, but Robles picks it up. Broken play here, free ball coming over to the Dragon side. And again, Lepelche does the same thing. He just watches his partner LeBlanc and tools the block, hits it on the outside of the hands. Marvin didn't turn in that hand quite hard and aggressively enough and goes out for the point for the Dragons. Robles, great Hawkeye on the line, putting his foot on that line, making sure it's out. If it's outside his body, he knows it's out. Well done. Point goes to the Royals. You've certainly noticed the Dragons have completely gone away from the middle attack, though. So,
for sure.
So the blockers really don't need to respect that middle.
Find success in the first
few sets. The first 2 sets, they've gone away from it.
Yeah.
Spinney hits it hard and off the block. Again, tools that block. Royals got to firm up that hand and firm up the block. Strong outside hand, direct that ball to the middle of the court. Easier said than done, but certainly that's one that Marvin, both sides now, he's been tooled on. Wow, I love what Kim's doing on that block. That was a quick 61, again, a little bit off the net. Howden Duke is right there ready for the kill as well. They obviously have practiced with this guy day after day and know what to expect from Kim. Most teams don't use the middle very much, but you need to use it effectively to hold that middle blocker as long as you can. Pelche hits it high off the hands, goes off the dig in the back for a point. Pelche goes back to serve. And Pelche's picked up his game a little bit in his last few points, but still down by 6 in this third important set.
Les Dragons semblent avoir beaucoup de succès avec Pelletier à l'avant.
Nice pass by Hands. Tight set. Marvin's trying to tool the hand, but and Douglas thinks right along with him that there was a tool, but none of the people that matter saw it that way. So a point goes to the Dragons. Pelletier to serve again. Dug up in the middle by LeBlanc. Out of the back row, Pelletier. Nice dig by Tran. Robles trying to go high, but a little too high, and no hands got in the way of that one. A nice little run here by the Dragons. The timeout is being called, as would expect by Jeff Ross from the Royals. I was talking with Gilles earlier yesterday. I was at all the practices yesterday and saw each one of the teams practice for 55 minutes, getting familiar with the gym and the way the gym feels and the lighting and the like. And certainly all of the players were very complimentary of the facility, even the change room areas. Great flow through of the change room areas and the locker rooms. But in talking to Gilles after the practice for a little bit, he talked about this being his first season with the Dragons. He has coached in a lot of different situations prior to coming here. He was assistant coach at Moncton for a couple of years, but this was his first season here. And like Jeff Ross, rarely do we see it, but he's also coaching both the men and the women's teams. So we have two coaches here today coaching the men who also coach their respective women's programs at their schools. And so Gilles is a busy guy, as is Jeff. And like I say, Gilles has done a lot to bring, to change the culture here and get them all kind of playing the same way, pulling in the same direction. So congratulations to Gilles, who was Coach of the Year in the Atlantic Conference. Back to live action here with Pelletier coming back to serve for the Dragons, down by 4. So chipping away at this Douglas lead. Good things happen when you got an established middle. Robles beat the one-on-one block on the outside. You generally expect a hitter on the outside to be able to block, to be able to beat a one-man block 99% of the time, don't you tell me? Yeah. And Robles made no mistake on that one. And we have a, double substitution here. Singh is back in to serve. The kid from Australia. And they get the point off that one. That substitution was also brought to you by the Steinbeck Credit Union. Guiding to where you want to go. And on that double substitution, we had number 9 also come in, Jacob Antosic. They did that double substitution in the end of the last set. Pelletier again, bringing the emotion. Hits it off the tape, but it does fall through for a kill. Point back. Now we're going to see Singh do some setting out of the back row with 3 attackers in the front row, 3 blockers as well, obviously. Spinney back to serve. Both setters have come from the same school. Again, a difficult set to the middle, but makes it work. Sansoni puts it away. Singh doing very similar to what Elijah Kim had been doing earlier, making sure that middle needs to be respected. Oh, but I guess it went out of bounds.
It did.
Sorry.
I think it was a little too fast.
I was impressed with the... oh, there he does it again. Shows it wasn't fluke the first time. This time, Sansoni makes no mistake and puts it in. So the last point went to the Dragons. This one goes to the Royals. 22-17 now. 3 points away from the ultimate 25 that everyone wants to secure this set and go up a commanding 2-1 lead in this match. Pelletier still continuing to bring it. I would say at this point it's very, very uneven in terms of who's getting the points on the Dragon side. Pelletier seems to be stacking them up. Not much coming in terms of secondary scoring, which I know Gilles is going to need if they're going to win this match. Tosic getting a play continue off that swing. And we have a net call on Sansoni on that block. It'll go back to the Dragons. Down by 3, 22-19. And it's Justin Bork back to serve. And Tosic getting his first kill of the match. Tools it off the outside of the block. Again, the middle blocker needed to hold. Sansoni was running a hard middle. And Tosic takes advantage of the one-man block on the outside. Sansoni going back to the service line with 2 points in mind. We'll see if his blockers in the front row can get a team block here. Push it to the limit. And Pelche getting a kill out of the back row. Almost unstoppable this set. But like we said earlier,
star this whole game.
He actually totally has been. But we need some of his, or he needs some of his teammates to do some of the heavy lifting as well.
For sure.
And Tosic gets a second kill. Hits it hard off the dig, and dig goes all the way over to the Douglas side, out the back end. The reverse of the double substitution, Kim coming back in, and Tumasume. And that substitution as well brought to you by the Steinmark Credit Union. Guidance for where you want to go. So Kim comes back in, 24-20, looking for one service point to move this to a fourth set. That middle attack goes through, but dug up. And Pelche hits it into the tape for the 25th point for Douglas. They win that second set, 25-20.
Royals prennent le troisième set. Maintenant, c'est 2-1.
They'll be looking to finish it off here in this crucial fourth set. And like the last match, Dragons will be trying to extend the match to 5. In the last match, we know that CMU did not allow that match to be extended to the 5th set and actually won their match in 4 sets. So we'll see what happens here to the largely French-speaking team from Saint Anne in New Brunswick. I want to take another opportunity to thank our sponsors. Again, a tournament like this doesn't happen without a lot of support from a lot of different people, individuals, and corporate money as well. And so I really want to single out the town of Niverville. What a great host you have been. The restaurants that you have here, the infrastructure that you have, and certainly this wonderful facility has been an absolute delight for the teams and for us. And I know that the crowd is enjoying it as well. The crowd, the people here in Niverville are clearly very proud of this facility, and they should be. And so Niverville is a town that also has a Junior A hockey team in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, a very competitive team, the Niverville Nighthawks. They entered league play, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago. Their rink is also a very nice rink, and it's attached to this same complex. And so I don't think they play here this weekend, though. I think that would be a lot of people coming through this building that probably can't accommodate all the parking, so they're probably on the road this weekend. But the Niverville Nighthawks are very spoiled by having such a fine facility by MJHL standards as well. We'll see what sort of lineups they come back with in the 4th set here. I suspect Douglas Royals aren't going to make a change. And by the looks of it, looking at seeing who's coming on the court for the Dragons, I think they're going with the same players as well. Salva, anything that you see from the statistics from after 3 sets that kind of are telling a bit of the story, or is it looking more tilted in the favor of the Douglas Royals?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot more errors, or actually not that many more, but they do have a few more errors on the Dragons side here, and then a few less kills than the Douglas team. But I don't think there's that much of a difference. Like, I think it's definitely, they can definitely come back and win this 4th set here.
Yeah, I totally agree. They lower hitting percentage,
For
clearly
sure, yeah.
with those higher errors.
But the difference isn't that much.
No, and certainly as we expected to see, Liam Pelche has 15 kills after 3 sets. 5 kills a set is a pretty good hitting, and he's bumped up his average a little bit to 267. So he started taking some of Salva's advice and going high off the hands. And who did we see? What do we see from
Douglas
LeBlanc?
has more service errors here.
Yeah, okay.
But
which is not a recipe for success usually, but their middles have
I think
got.
this next set will be about who passes the best and just sides out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The middles, I'm just looking here, Nathan Houghton-Duke and Lucas Sansoni both having 4 kills, which is good. Again, it keeps the blockers honest on the other side. I think that has been one of the differences. That's why Marvin's able to hit at a pretty good clip at 318. All important first point, setting the tone for the match, or for this particular set, goes to the Dragons. So back to serve is the setter, O'Coin. Trying to force the middle a little bit on that one was Elijah Kim, and Houghton-Duke hits it out the back. Oh, sorry. Must have been a net call on that one. Did I miss something?
There was a touch for sure.
Touch,
yeah.
Okay. So he didn't blow it out the back. He deliberately hit it off the top of those fingers. Or that's what he'll tell me. And Pelche going for those high fingers, and he was able to hit it. So he gets a kill, blowing it out the back, but certainly touched by those blockers.
Les deux équipes utilisent le bloc à leur avantage.
No approach for Tumusime on that one, but he puts it to the floor. Hit it high and probably through the block. Again, we can't see very much how the block is forming based on our view from the vantage point we have. So we have to trust what you see on the camera. You can probably see it better than we can. Duke floats it over. Bork gets a tough kill on that one. Puts it off the block of Houghton-Duke and puts it to the floor. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the first kill by a middle blocker from, nope, sorry, Oliver Rutherford had one in the first 3 sets. So that's the second kill by the middles. I think they're going to need more of that in this fourth set.
Yeah, that will definitely make a big difference if they do start using the middle.
Sansoni tries to power tip, but puts it into the net for a 4th hit the next time his teammate touches it. So point to the Dragons. Bork back to serve. Sansoni is blocked in the middle, but it is a play continue. Marvin hits it outside the antenna. Point goes to the Dragons. Certainly their coach will like the response, leading 5-2 very early in this first set, but setting a better tone. Tipped over by Marvin Tumusime. And Pelche goes right into the block on that one. It goes down on his side. No coverage to pick it up, so point to the Royals. Tumusime goes back to serve. Tumusime, as I said earlier, is from Uganda. Obviously a wonderful recruit that Douglas has been able to secure, and he's been very effective in the program for the last 2 years. Nice dig by LeBlanc in the back. Pelche goes up, swings hard, but gets blocked. Probably one where he needs to do a wipe to the outside rather than to the inside. Point Royals, closing the gap to 5-4. Again, another tight set. That's 2 in a row where LeBlanc has probably not taken the smart play. He's hit it right into a block, and it would have been hard to do anything other than get a stuff block against you. I think he jammed his finger a little bit on that one as well. He's kind of stretched them out. See the tape over his hole of his right hand and some of his left hand. Those can sting when you get jammed the finger. And Marvin digs it up. Almost a held ball, but the referee still let it go. Really good blocking and digging this rally. Kim, front row, uses that to his advantage and uses a dump with the left hand. Sorry, we're back here on the air. Pelche's back to serve. It's all tied up at 6-6. Into the net on that serve by Pelche, over to the Royals. Robles back to serve. Robles hits it out the back. Point goes to the Dragons. Spinney back to serve for the Royals. Oh, sorry, for the Dragons. LeBlanc trying to go high on the hands, but did not hit those hands, and so it goes back to the Royals. Sansoni going back to serve. I notice here in the stats, Hands had a very great start to the match. They had 5 kills in the first set. Hasn't had a kill since. And so that's going to be something that I think they'll want to do better of, but they have been getting a lot of kills out of the middle. So I think the middles have been taking up some of that slack. Ball handled well by Londero. Nice execution as LeBlanc puts that one to the floor. Rutherford back to serve for the Dragons. Kim is in the front row now, so a tight pass could be a good opportunity for a dump, but it takes him off the net, that pass does, and Hands just rolls it over. LeBlanc, nice sharp cross court. Block wasn't totally formed. Howden Duke a little late in getting over. Point to the Dragons. And Rutherford puts it out the back. He did get a couple of points off his serve, so well done to Rutherford on that one. Point back to the Royals, though, and Elijah Kim goes back to serve. Huge block by Howden Duke and Marvin Tufusime. Straight down, no question about that block. Well formed. A bit of a higher set to the outside. Beautifully executed. Equally another block by Howden Duke. Trying to run the middle, and I admire that. I respect that. Justin Bork running that one, but hit right into the hands of Howden Duke. 2 consecutive plays. Howden Duke gets 2 stuff blocks. Putting a little bit of light between the 2 teams here with a 2-point lead. Elijah Kim has to take the first ball. Tran comes in. Bump sets to Marvin, and Marvin gets the kill. Timeout called by the Dragons. Down now by 3, 12-9 in this all-important fourth set. I want to take this opportunity to say that the men's and women's basketball and volleyball championships this weekend, or this season, sorry, are powered by AO2 Live, the platform that powers amateur Canadian sports, CCAA's official video streaming service provider. So thank you to AO2 Live. I admire that the Dragons are trying to establish some in the middle. They're not getting the same sort of looks in the middle that Douglas is getting. They don't seem to have the confidence running in the middle. I don't know if that's something that you see that they've experienced throughout the season, but anything that you would say how they could be more effective in the middle?
I mean, just running it more and more. I think once they get it, it'll be really helpful.
And the passing needs to be there to run that middle attack
as well. But I think they need to keep trying just to establish that middle, or else if they stop setting it, then it's going to be a lot harder for the outside hitters to score.
LeBlanc and Pelletier are going to have a difficult time with that. Spinney as well on the outside. We're back to live action here, coming out of that timeout. Kim is back to serve, as he was before the timeout. Kim takes that first ball. Tran comes in. Marvin just sets it over. Hands gets his 6th kill of the match. Well done to Hands. Looks for those hands. Puts it off and out for that kill. This has been a tough rotation here for the Dragons. Kim has been serving them tough as well. Again, a very tough serve, overpass. Nathan Howden-Duke. Ball goes out, looking for that touch by LeBlanc, but again, when you don't have that middle respected, Howden-Duke is getting out for some pretty good, solid two-man blocks on the outside. So LeBlanc on that one, putting it out. Kim back to serve. Nice pass by Spinney. And trying to run the middle, and Bork puts it out. Now 15-9, kind of getting into critical period for the Dragons. I suspect if another point happens, Jill's not going to have another choice other than to call another timeout. Oh, nice joust at the net. Luke Hands with their setter, with O'Coin. Marvin tooling it off the outside of the block on that one. And sure enough, Coach Arsenault was calling a timeout. 16-9. This is getting a little bit away from them. I think he's going to be asking his team to just be solid in their passing. They need to get those sets right on the net. They need to change it up. I know they've been using the C-ball in the back very effectively with Pelletier, but LeBlanc's having a tough time now. I can see him, I don't know if he's getting more tired, but he's not getting quite the tools like he was in the first. And it's tough when you're always hitting against a solid formed two-man block, isn't it, Salva?
It is, for sure. Doesn't always go your way.
No, it's a one-on-one. You expect the hitter to win 95% of the time, but when it's a good two-man block and even three-man block in some cases, it's a pretty hard for a hitter to kill consistently. So we need some solid passing. By Dragons, I mean they need some solid passing, and Bork and their other middle blocker, Rutherford needs to step it up and get some blocks of their own. Kim still serving for the Royals. Free ball back over to the Dragons. And off the hands, out the back. by Pelche coming out of the position 1 for the kill. O'Coin back to serve for the Dragons. That time Rutherford says, Bork says no. Nice stuff block. Elijah Kim trying to catch them off guard with that quick set to the middle, but Howden Duke puts it into the hands of Bork. Oh, sorry, I'm mistaken. It went out off the block of Bork. LeBlanc, tough set. He doesn't keep it in the court. Goes out the side. Luke Hans back to serve a second time. Now leading 18-10. It's kind of do or die time for the Dragons. Need to get something that sparks some momentum. Very tough serve. A little bit of miscommunication there. I think Spinney was thinking it was out. Was trying to signal that to the libero, but the libero couldn't get out of the way in time. Doucette unfortunately touches that ball. Howden Duke needing to take that one. Certainly the Royals looked a little confused and out of sync on that one, and predictably didn't get the point. Well done for the Dragons. LeBlanc goes back to serve. Robles hits it hard into the block, but the block pushes it out the backside of the Douglas end line. And so point to the Royals. There was a Douglas player that folded it right to the back line and made the right decision to let it drop to the outside of the court. Howden Duke now, the magical 20 points has been reached by the Royals. At this point, they're looking for a couple blocks, but at least side outs. And that one is dug up, but it is dug into the curtain and out of play. Hence, the point goes to the Royals. At this point, there's not a lot that Coach Arsenault can do. He's used his 2 timeouts. Could use a substitution, but at this point, he's choosing not to. He's going with the guys that started the match.
Taken a lot of points today.
It certainly has, hasn't it? We wondered how this slightly lower ceiling would play out, and it has. Yeah, speaking of, another one into the ceiling off the hands of the defender. Robles rolled it to the back and went straight up into the rafters. Yes, I think that's going to kind of become some, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the teams mentioned that as a bit of a disadvantage. Howden Dukes back to serve, scored 22-11. Out, another aggressive set by Kim to the middle, using kind of that triangle. When he's off the net, Sansoni needs to be that far away from him, kind of making equilateral triangles with the setter and the net. But he did put it out of bounds, so Dragons back to serve. Bork. Nice dig in the backcourt by LeBlanc. Sansoni takes the free ball and over to Marvin on the right-hand side, hits it off the block, out of bounds for a point, 23-12. We're looking at a double substitution here. Singh coming in with Antosic, and the usual suspects, Kim and Marvin, going out. That substitution is brought to you by Steinbach Credit Union. Guidance for where you want to go. Singh is back to serve. Tough serve, but it's overpass, and Sansoni gets an easy kill. They can certainly taste it now, 24-12. Needing one more big block or another overpass like that would work too, I'm sure, from Douglas's perspective. Pelche still imploring his team. We can do it, guys. Big serve by Singh. And a great block by Sansoni to finish it off. Sansoni and Robles on the outside for game point, 25-12. With authority. It was a back and forth match, but in the end, I think Douglas probably was the best team and deserved to win, wouldn't you say, Salva?
I would say so, yeah. They were very clean and were in system a lot of the times. They set middle a lot, even off the net, so I think that helped them out. And they were very consistent on their serve, not as many serving errors as they did in the previous set. So
yeah, I absolutely agree that Salva. That was a well-rounded effort. They made less errors. They had more secondary scoring spread out around the team, and that's what the Dragons didn't have. Pelche played well, very well at times, and really was the one-man wrecking ball. But there wasn't enough secondary scoring.
Needed a few more people to step up and help him out, but.
So congratulations to the Douglas Royals, who go on to meet CMU Blazers in the semifinal. And as I said, for the first match, the Dragons will still have an opportunity to get a bronze medal. Their chances for a gold medal are dashed, but they do have an opportunity backdoor to play an extra game, but get to that bronze medal game on Saturday. So I'm sure that's where they will refocus their efforts. And certainly now Douglas needs to enjoy this win, but move on to thinking about their next opponent. They saw CMU play earlier today, so they'll know kind of what they're getting into. So it'll be Manitoba against BC. So congratulations to Douglas. We're going to have a interview with the player of the game from the Douglas College Royals here very, very shortly. So I will be back with that interview in a few moments.
It's now time to award the Player of the Match award. To make the presentation, please welcome all Canadians from BIU, Colby Susan and Keanu Altus Silva. Player of the game from University of St. Anne, Dragons, number 12, Louis Philippe Lavant. And the player of the game for Douglas College, number 14, Tyler Tran. Congratulations, Douglas. That concludes session 1. We will need all fans, tournament passes, as well as session 1 passes to leave the gym through those doors. We need you to exit outside and come back in if you're staying for session 2. It is a building code capacity situation with the tickets. So you will need to leave the building, come back through the front doors. If you have a tournament pass, you do not have to stand in to show your wristband. So we need to clear session 1. This concludes session 1. Thank you. VIPs do not have to leave. VIPs, that's why you're a VIP.
I'm being joined here by Tyler Tran. Congratulations to Tyler Tran for being the player of the match for the winning team Douglas. And I also want to give congratulations to the winning player of the game from the St. Anne Dragon side, which was LeBlanc. He had a great match as well. So come on in here, Tyler. Just get you on there. This around you. Doing a bit of a dance here, Tyler. Well, welcome, Tyler, and congratulations for a wonderful match.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
I'm a BC guy, and so while I have to be impartial here this week, I am secretly rooting for the BC teams. And so, well done, Tyler. What was the mindset coming into nationals? You nearly were in nationals last year. I know this is your second year, but Douglas has been knocking at the door for a few years now. What did it feel like, and what was the mindset coming into nationals after having missed it a few close times the last few years?
Yeah, I think just after last year, how it went, we lost. We got reverse swept in the finals.
Yes, you did.
We came back hungry this year. We had a slow first semester, but the boys turned up.
Maybe put a little closer to Emo. Perfect.
We came back hungry as ever, and we're just got the momentum rolling, and hopefully we'll go to the finals here.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's the mindset that you need to have, right? Enjoy this victory and then move on. But you as a libero, it's wonderful when the liberos get the credit, because it's often the big hitters that get the recognition. And for you to get the recognition that you had today, you were a key piece in a strong service receive. You guys were in system a lot more than they were. You made a lot of digs. I see after the third set, you already had 6 digs. So what is the mindset that you have as a libero, that how do you figure I can contribute to the team's success?
Yeah, just staying aggressive and making sure the back line's all together. I don't know if you did this, but me, the back row, both outsides, we all came from the same club.
Really? In Richmond?
Yeah, and Air Attack. Shout out Air Attack.
A shout out to Air Attack, BC. All right, club volleyball.
We got that chemistry, so we just make sure we're all together and hungry, pass that ball, and we're all good.
And you were playing against an alt-Canadian in Liam Pelche. You obviously hadn't seen him probably before today. He hit a lot of hard balls, and he hits a lot of balls out of the right side back row. What was the strategy coming into how to contain him? Because you did a pretty good job of containing him.
Yeah, I mean, we sent our blockers over to him because we knew he was their main guy, and just stayed in position, trusted my blockers, and everything went well.
Well, very good match, and congratulations. Well deserved. Good luck tomorrow in the semifinals.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.